So little Alfie wanting training. I'm sorry, I don't, we couldn't find anything that you requested for training, but yeah, this will be complimentary for that. Sorry for that.
No problem.
But yeah, little Alfie. So go ahead and fill me in on everything.
Yeah, so really the main problem is he has some resource guarding issues when it comes to like his food bowl. Pretty much just food. Like I can take toys from him, that's fine, but if he's like eating and I need to take away his bowl, or he has like these toys that are like a ball that dispenses treats that he'll play with, if I need to take that from him, he doesn't like that either. So that's pretty much the main concern I have. Because obviously there's going to be a time when I'm going to need to take something from him, and I want to be able to do that safely,
Yeah,
without a leash to drag him away from the item.
correct. Yeah. Anything else?
The only other thing is he's very like reactive to noises in the home. Like if he hears something or thinks he hears something, I don't know. Sometimes I don't even know what he's barking at, but he barks, which is just annoying. I'm not as concerned about it as the guarding, but it's something that is, annoying, that I think if we do go the route of like an e-collar, would be easy to potentially stop him with that. He does wear a bark collar in the home, and it does work when the collar actually functions correctly, but it doesn't consistently, make the beeping or the vibration when he's barking. So I just don't think he's getting it because the collar isn't reliable itself, if that makes sense. Yeah.
No, it makes sense. Yeah, I've seen it too. Sometimes you'll hear a dog bark, 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 and then wait, and then one bark, and then they're correct, and it's like, oh well.
Exactly. Like he'll usually get like 3 or 4 barks in, and then finally it makes the sound, and then he stops, but he's still barking up until that point.
Yeah. Does your bark collar only do sound, or does it do like the stimulation?
It does sound, I think, for like the first time it catches it, and then it does like a vibration. But
Oh,
usually the sound is good enough to
okay.
stop him.
Okay. What's the brand?
Honestly, let me see. It's just from Amazon, but it looks like this, and it's called Stock Wolf, I guess. So I mean, it was like $20, so it's not anything, professional, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
No, otherwise those are the main things. He's 90% good dog, just 10% a little terror to me, mostly. I live with my boyfriend, and he'll let my boyfriend take the food bowl from him. He might give him a little growl, but he'll never snap or anything. So it's annoying that it's really me, and probably a stranger, or anyone else other than my boyfriend, who would probably try and bite them. Yeah.
Yeah. We've never seen any resource guarding here at the facility with Alfie. But I'm pretty sure, as far as I know, once we put that breakfast down or dinner down, he's always eating it all. So like when we come back,
yeah, he eats very quickly, so it's hard to. He doesn't give you a lot of time to take stuff from him because he tries to eat it very fast.
Yeah. And this is only with humans, or does he research with dogs too? Or
no, I have another dog, and he, like, when she's eating, she's a very slow eater. He leaves her alone while she eats. She never really tries to bother him when he's eating, but I mean, they can eat in the same room, within a couple feet of each other, and he doesn't mind at all.
Good. Anything else that you would like to tell me about Alfie, or anything I should know?
I don't think so. There's just one random thing that I don't even know if it's something that can be fixed, but like at our house, he's really good as far as like he doesn't mark, he doesn't have accidents. But the second I take him literally anywhere else, he tries to pee on whatever he can. But I don't really know how to stop that. I don't know if that's anything, but it's just a random weird thing that he does. And maybe you probably see him try to pee on stuff there. I don't know.
Yeah, we run out the dogs, so maybe it's like here and there. I don't really see him do it that much.
Yeah.
I don't know, he's been pretty good about it, but I've seen him do it. Yeah, but that can is he not spayed? Is he neutered?
He is, but he was neutered later in life because he was a stray. So he was just neutered probably like 6 months ago, and he's 2 years old now.
Oh,
So
okay.
probably just marking behavior that he just learned.
So, yeah, yes, it can be addressed with e-collar. The way we would teach it, it would
I kind of have to wait for him to pee, basically.
Yeah, something like more like on your own terms. You tell him,
right?
But yeah, we'll get into that. Anything else about Alfie?
Nope. I think that's it.
Cool. Where do you? So it's just resource guarding, the barking, and then the marking, barking, research guarding. How about do you care for like how's he on walks or stuff like that?
He's pretty good. He is interested. He gets distracted a lot. Like he's very interested in people walking by or dogs. He's not reactive. But he definitely ears perk up and he's interested, but he's not hard to really redirect, especially with food or even just like his loose leash. Like once we're actually walking, his loose leash walking is pretty good. Like I can tie him up to my belt loop and he'll stay, he's not tugging or anything.
Okay. Cool. So were you thinking about like an in-person program or
I guess I wasn't exactly sure. Like I watched a video that Jesse put out probably like a month or two ago. I think it was a training consultation with a dog that had resource guarding issues, and he kind of walked through the steps on how to work through that. And to me, it seems like something that I can do. But I kind of just wanted to get an understanding from your perspective, like, do you think e-collar is the best tool for me? Like, is there something you can recommend? And then just like based off that video, I had a couple questions about like, even if I can get him away from the food, as far as like, he's still usually fixated. I guess I don't know like how much fixation is allowed, if any, or just like kind of like those tips on how to handle him aside from just like getting him to leave the thing that I need to take from him.
Yeah, so e-collar here. So the issue without e-collar, and there's even like an episode of Caesar Milan where what not to do, right? So what not to do is stick your hand in there or kind of like tell him something or move the leash or drag him along, because all that is very confrontational. It's like you're arguing now. So then when you get into like that argument, well, he's not going to back down because he really likes that food. So then it becomes, and it's kind of confusing. Like, well, what do I do now if he's barking at me or growling at me or wanting to snap, right? What do I do? So e-collar here in this setting, first we would need to teach him how it works, that he's the one in control of it, how it turns on, how it turns off. Next, we can address the resource guarding and everything. So we have a dog here for resource guarding as well, but she's it's a little more difficult because it's with dogs. So we're teaching her the same things to start the disengagement of whatever object she's desiring, whether it be food or a ball. So e-collar is not confrontational because Alfie will never know it's you pressing the button, right? There's nothing attached to you and Alfie. You're just, he won't he won't feel the stimulation and be like, Mom, are you doing that? It won't happen. He'll never know. He's thinking it's the universe, right? So that's why we get such successes, because there's no argument, there's no yelling, there's no touching. It's just the stimulation he's going to get for his behavior, right? So we would teach him the out command, teaching him to, once cued, to completely disengage the food, the object, or whatever it is, or just that once he feels it, he knows what to do, like without the word, because the other issue with out command is because since you're kind of adding a word to it, you're controlling it. So let's say you want him to know how to completely disengage from all food. So it'd be like, let's say you're making a sandwich, right? You drop a lunch meat and then he's looking at it. His first response should be to immediately avoid the situation. Just, I'm out of here. That's what should happen. So with the out, when we apply a word to something, we're controlling it versus eliminating it. So when it drops, he's going to go for it until you say out, and he's like, okay, go for it, right? So it depends how serious the resource guarding is. So we're at the point where like, okay, we just need to correct this as a whole, once we put our hand there and everything. But for the video with Jesse, was it like a lesson, or was it a consultation? He was explaining like how to.
It was unclear if it was like an in-person consultation or if it was like lesson 1. Here's how you.
Wait, was it like a black dog?
I can't remember. It was a woman, and it was, I want to say it was some kind of like pit mix.
I think that's a dog. Yeah.
Yeah, she brought like a bag with like a bone in it or something. I don't know. But kind of what I was thinking is, obviously, I would need to be trained on how to use any collar as well. So I think if it's an option, and you tell me, I don't know, if there's a way for me to have like a couple in-person training sessions where you guys teach both him and I can be somehow like a part of it, as opposed to like a drop him off and leave him. I don't know with COVID if that's a thing that you guys offer, just a couple, 1 hour sessions or whatever you do.
Yeah, so it's it goes, if you want to do the daycare and train, we drop them off and pick them up at the end of the day. It's you get videos of everything that's going on, so you're in the loop and you're seeing how it's going for the first time and everything. And then also you get a lot of follow-up time. So what program you choose, which is it goes by bundle, so it's 5, 10, 15, 20. It's depending on which bundle you choose, you get that much hours of follow-up. So I think the 2 or the 10-day bundle is 2 hours of follow-up, I believe. Into it again. But yeah, there's definitely those follow-ups where we do the in-person things, because it's like, if we get it done and then we're like, here, it's done, it's gone, have fun, good luck, it doesn't make it. There's some trainers who do that. Like, they'll just say, he knows this, here you go, and then like run it through it real quick, bye, and that's all. And it's like, whoa, like, it's more than just like, tell me what he knows, tell me how to do it real quick, and then we're out. It's more than but yeah, there's nothing, because like I said, we have a dog here who's here for resource guarding. The only issue is, and we let all of the owners know, is that sometimes we don't see it here. It just won't happen, right? So the dog is not even interested in balls here or toys or anything or food. She'll only eat in her crate when she's like alone and it's like later in the night, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of hard to address resource guarding if there's no resource guarding, right?
Yeah.
We can still teach her to disengage when we put the food down. It's just going to be a little difficult if like one day maybe she is engaged. We might see something different, or like we might need to be doing something else, or like maybe a higher number, or like maybe something will come out where we didn't see at the facility because she wasn't really interested in food or balls, right? And she's still acclimating to the environment. So if Alfie was to do it, he might show it to us just because he's comfortable here. He loves all the handlers. He's always wagging his tail. He's always just he's acclimated, right?
Hmm.
The new dog is not completely acclimated, so she's stressed. She's a lot of shaking, a lot of like heavy panting. When we start getting our setup ready, like the e-collar goes on, food comes down, she's already like we haven't even like taught her anything for food. Like she's already just like avoiding the food. Like she doesn't want it. So that can be an issue. But like I told you, Alfie, he's already comfortable with the environment.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, you will be a part of it. E-collar, um, no confrontation there because it's just not connected. It's we're using the stimulation effect on the e-collar. So do you know how e-collar works? Like the way we
Um, my understanding, and totally correct me if I'm wrong, is that basically it's more like a muscle stimulant as opposed to like an electric shock. And basically it's a correction without the risk of me losing a finger.
correct, yes. It's safer. You don't, like I said, you don't need to get in the let's say the Alfie's at a dog park and like there's a ball being thrown and Alfie's going for it when another dog's going for it as well. You can have Alfie disengage from the ball immediately with just a press of a button. So it's a lot of work, a lot of time saving, and
Hmm.
just effort, and it just leaves the owner more confident and relaxed, like if before it's like, oh god, I hope he doesn't go for a ball this time or something like that, but versus now I
Yeah.
can stop him just pressing a button. But yeah, e-collar, you're correct, it's the muscle stimulation. You already watched the consultation, so I'm assuming you know a bit more and everything like that than the regular dog owner. But it's muscle contraction. We use a stimulation effect. We don't use the vibrate because the vibrate doesn't have levels. It's just a solid
Yeah.
level, right? Sometimes dogs get surprised by it. Sometimes it's too much. Sometimes it's too much. But then as we keep using it, because some owners will see progress like, oh, the vibration works. I can get my dog to disengage from stuff. Well, yeah, in the beginning maybe, but then your dogs become like comfortable with it, and then it might not
Mhm.
work.
Right.
So that's why we don't use a toner, or it's called toner. But we use the nick function because we just, it has levels. It's physical. Dogs are very physical animals, so we're talking their language when we're working with them. So that's why they catch on so quickly. Uh,
Hmm.
what else? Any other questions so far?
I guess, and I'm definitely getting ahead of myself, but with an e-collar, does there come a day where you can, I can say like, I can confidently take Alfie's food bowl away. He doesn't need to wear the e-collar inside all the time for her. Is it meant to be a lifelong wear it 24/7 forever kind of thing?
Um, most likely having it on and just being consistent with it until, if you do notice one day where, like, let's say, he's eating, right? You say out and he's not outing and there's no e-collar. Well, he's
What do I do?
right in that moment. Because let's say you're still like you're still conditioning it and everything, practicing.
Mhm.
And then let's say you do get ahead of yourself, you take the e-collar. Let's see if he does it. That moment you say the word and there's no way to um make it happen, it's now you're gonna need the collar on for like maybe forever when he's eating, right? For breakfast.
Yeah. Okay.
For me, I think it's worth it, always being safe and everything, but I wake up in the morning, that collar him up, feed him, and then practice, and because it's easy, because you have
Yeah.
to feed Alfie, so there's always opportunities to practice, right?
Hmm.
Being consistent with it, and just because you might get to a point where you say out and he just does it because there's been a dog where we were teaching him the off command to jump off the couch, and we would bring him up, and then he's like, there, we say off, and he boom just like bolts because because of the amount of concern and caution he has for that, because he just wants to avoid the stimulation. He's
Hmm.
like, I'm down, I'm out, I'm off, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you get that extreme response, which is It's really good to see, but it's just depending on Alfie, I believe. But definitely having that e-collar for the first, beginning, like maybe like months, maybe.
Yeah, and I'm not opposed to having it on for a long, forever if that's what it takes. I was just curious,
Yeah,
going into it, what is typical? And there's
yeah,
probably no typical response.
yeah. And in this situation, this is as of right now, it's you're gonna need it.
Mhm.
But let's say out of the rest of the day, Alfie is a good dog. As you said, he's 90% a good boy,
Yeah.
right? Let's say that some of that percentage is in the home without food, without balls or anything like that. Then you don't need the e-collar, right? But then
Mhm.
sometimes you get in a situation where, like, let's say he's gonna pick something up. Let's say something falls, right? And then like you're like, uh-oh, then like it needs to be addressed, right?
Yeah.
There's gonna be like a lot of situations like that where you're gonna maybe want the e-collar on like throughout the day.
Mhm.
If something happens, since we can't predict these things. Um, and then we have other um, like what's it called? Because the e-collar can only be on for a certain amount of time until your dog gets pressure sores. It's not from the stimulation. It's just because there's two contact points in one spot for a long time. So rotating it every hour would be best. Or if we also have comfort pads, which is a different type of metal, so that it's also more, it's just a different type of metal that's more, it doesn't cause such a reaction if it's on the neck for that long. So there's other options for you as well. We wouldn't recommend anything like bonking your dog, where it's a rolled up towel like a bonker, and then you bonk the dog, because it's
Mm.
technically still arguing and it's very confrontational for that situation. So
Yeah.
that situation. Um, what else? If you were to choose a daycare and train, um, Alfie would know heal, which is walk with me, stay with me, sit when I stop. We need to teach him how the e-collar works before we address behavior stuff and everything like that. Um, he'll also just know, down, sit, stay, place, and then a little bit of and then recall. Um, what else? Any other questions?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. If is there a way that for you or just someone, the front desk staff or something can like send me an email of like the different options that you guys have? Or is it just on your website, I assume, that I can just contact you guys and let you know what I want to do?
Yeah. So after this consultation, I'll send you a follow-up email. This follow-up email will entail what we've talked about,
Hmm.
programs and pricings. I can send you all the programs and prices if you like. Um, but um, were you leaning more towards daycare and train?
I Right now that's kind of where I'm thinking. But if you just have it all, you can send it all in case I change my mind. But I think the way I'm thinking about it now is daycare and train probably.
Okay. Yeah. So there's daycare and train for you. There's board and train. There's the in-person. Um, pros and cons. Well, pros and cons is, in person is takes longer because we give you a topic a week, and but you learn a lot more because you're doing everything hands-on from the beginning.
Hmm.
The way we teach in person is we don't touch the dog. It's all verbal coaching. Um, the pros and cons for daycare and training and boarding training is that all the training is tied to us, so we would have to transfer everything for you. But that's what the follow-ups are for, to transfer everything to you. So once we record everything and you see how we kind of teach, or address the resource card, you can go ahead and start practicing as soon as you see the video so that you can practice it. So let's say you're practicing and he's still coming to daycare and train. Well then, we'll have our follow up. We'll see how he's doing with the e-collar. And then you'll update us how he's doing with resource guarding as a whole, how the e-collar is working for you in those situations. And then also the barking, um, how that's going, progressing as well once we start training. The barking just sounds, kind of like a nervous behavior, or like a noise happens, he barks, or maybe like, because he used to bark a lot in the beginning, and it was just like out of nowhere, like we'll hear a bark bark, and we're like, what the? And then Alfie's just there, like whatever, like nothing happened.
Yeah.
So I was like, was it Alfie? And then like as time grew on, I was like, it's Alfie, yeah.
Yeah.
But then he just kind of toned down a lot. Like today, he barked like once, and I knew it was Alfie because I know his bark now. So I was just like, and I was like, I was just waiting, like nothing happened. He just barked, and that was it. And he was just in the playpen with dogs, so it was just funny. But yeah, is the barking frequent in the house?
It's not frequent. It's just, we live in an apartment, so we hear people on the stairs from time to time, we hear our neighbors, it's just, we hear people, so there's sounds quite, regularly that he reacts to, just from apartment life.
Okay, I'm gonna send you a link to a different bark collar, a different brand that we use. It's because for the e-collars we use Dogtra. Dogtra is the only brand we use, but for bark collars we have another brand. It's called e-collar Technologies. I don't know if you've heard of that, but it's another high quality brand that we recommend. We go for Dogtra though every single time. Wait, real quick, how much does Alfie weigh?
Between 15 and 20, I think.
Okay. So our e-collars have 127 levels. There's other cheaper e-collars out there that have like 10 or like 5 max. So think of their 10 power outage the power equaling to 127, right? So we can fine tune to the dog's personality and just match their behavior or situation, whatever we're in. So if like 10 or like a 5 is getting your Alfie to yelp and overreact, but a 4 is not letting him listen, then for us, we can just go in between. Like 30 is too low, 40 is too high, we can go 35, right? Even the educator works the same way, but they have the bark collar that does stimulation. So it sends stimulation once they bark. What else? So I'll send you a link to that.
Okay.
See how that one works for Alfie. Obviously, that's personal preference. It's not needed for the program and everything like that. It's just another option for you. Any other questions?
So should I have like an e-collar purchased and like ready to go for you at his first daycare and train? Like you guys don't have them like on site and I pay you. I should get it myself and then bring it with him, basically.
Yeah. So in the follow-up email, I forgot to continue. It was pricing, programs, a form that needs to be signed. Since you're doing daycare and train, the form you've already signed the form, which it was in the Ginger application. Did you do Ginger already?
Yeah.
Okay. So you already handled that already, and I'll also send the e-collar I recommend for Alfie with a link to Amazon for you to purchase. Okay. Or we do sell them here. So if you want to just buy it here, you're more than welcome to, because we do have, I think I need to check to see if we have a few in stock, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
If you want to buy from us. And then after, since you've already done the Ginger stuff, and let's say you do want to do the daycare and train, we would just, you just let me know when you're ready, and then start billing you. Let me know when you're ready to get billed, and I'll bill you. We also have payment plans as well, so it's like half down for the first class, and then like the rest is like the other half is later in the program, minus the 1/3. Oh no, yeah, your consultation is free. But so yeah, you have the choice to purchase on your own or through us. And then after that, we can begin booking. So booking for daycare and train is like, it'll be like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, just so we don't get like 4 or 5 daycare and trains on one day, right? Just to make it split up and everything like that.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the training. There's, whenever you bring Alfie, we'll work with him. But since you're kind of just focusing on the resource guarding, it'd probably just be like the heal and resource guarding. But we do these other commands as well, because you're paying for it. Okay. Anything else?
One last question, then I promise I'm done.
Oh no, we started at you have me for an hour.
Should I, like, for daycare and train, should I bring food with him just so you guys have, you could feed him breakfast or whatever and have his food, or do you have some other way that you want to handle that?
So definitely, maybe even, you can still feed him breakfast and then bring food, or you don't feed breakfast and then you bring food, so he's more hungry and he's wanting it more. You can do that. Also bring his favorite treats. We have lunch meat here. Does he have any allergies?
Just general life allergies. I don't know. He gets allergy shots. Yeah, he's just allergic to things outside, not like food or anything.
Okay. We have lunch meat here as well for dogs, like ham. So let's say he's looking at the kibble, and then he's like, maybe like one day he's not interested. We have ham for backup. But yeah, definitely bring his kibble, any treats, any high value stuff that he's obsessed with. Maybe he's obsessed with cheese, but go ahead and bring cheese. And but yeah, you would bring his food. We'd work with him, recording it, and then I don't know if we have one. I thought we had a fake hand in here to test it and whatever, everything like that.
You'll need it.
What else? Anything else, or any other questions about either e-collar or program or anything like that?
No, the only other thing is, I don't know if you need to see or care to see, but I have his food here if you wanted to see him attack me on video, or wait and see it in person. I didn't know if you'd need to see it, during the consultation or anything.
It's fine.
Okay.
I believe you.
No, okay.
Yeah, we'll see. If you have a video, have the video in case we don't see anything here, so we just kind of know what we're looking at, I guess, if you like, to you. But you don't have to do it at this moment. It's fine.
All right.
Am I missing anything? Any other questions?
Nope, that does it for me.
Cool. So keep a lookout for the follow-up email. It'll be sent either tomorrow or the next day. And then, the faster you move, the faster you can get each scheduled and everything like that for the daycare and train program. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. You said sometimes he'll be a little more distracted on his walks.
Yeah, he just if somebody walks by, he will look at them, or like a dog. I can tell he gets excited to see other dogs. It's never like reactive aggressive. Sometimes it's just reactive excited. But it's not terrible.
Okay, so there's no barking.
No, not usually. My other dog barks from time to time, and that will sometimes set him off, but he doesn't on his own.
Okay, so the heel would fix that. Sounds like he's just a bit a little overstimulated. That's all. All over the place. And then have you ever gone for like a long walk and then you come home and he's not tired, or does that happen?
Probably the longest we've walked is maybe like 30 minutes. So not terribly long. It's rare that he is noticeably tired. Throughout the day, he's good at just sleeping while I'm working, but if he's up, he's up and he's in your face or, excited.
Yeah. So the heel command can help with that. Like if you go for a 30-minute walk, usually the dogs who have been taught heel, our style of heel, will come home exhausted, right? So that can help with that. And then but other than that, that doesn't really need to be tackled head on, because that's just what happens when we start applying discipline with Alfie. And then I'm trying to think, what else am I missing? Anything? I think that's all. If you don't have any other questions, or if a question pops up after the consultation, then you can go ahead and email me, and then I'll answer to the Enrique at Canine Perspective. Anything else?
No, I think I'm good.
Cool. Awesome, Taylor. It was nice. It's nice seeing you. And then we keep an eye out for that email. And then other than that, I hope you have a great Memorial weekend.
Oh yeah, you too. Thank you so much for the consult.
For sure. Awesome. Have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.